Good morning. Today is already February the 28th. I cannot believe 2016 is flying so fast. I don't know, only I am feeling it or you are also feeling it. Please let me know. Today in my devotion, Lord really speak to me about how to hear from Him. A lot of time as a believer we start a beginning of new year and we are so enthusiastic. We want to hear from God, we want to be close to Him, we really want to hear from Him. But sometimes the times get so hectic and we get so busy, and then we forgot what is we plan beginning of the year. But I want to remind you, just keep following Him and His heart for you. And especially today I'm gonna talk to you about how to hear from God. A lot of time as a Christian we go and we pray and we bring all our problem to God, and we want to go hear Him, but we don't get to hear Him because we pray a lot and we complain a lot. We bring our things to Him, and then we just block, speak, and then we after we are done, and we don't have a patience to sit and hear His voice. I want to talk to you about how to hear His voice. I have a little story to tell you. I have four kids, and three of them are girls and one is a boy. And out of four, my two kids, second daughter and my third youngest daughter, baked the cake one time. And my youngest daughter was 5 and my second daughter was 9. And then I was cooking and dinner. When I was cooking, they're preparing, and then we eat. My second daughter and my youngest daughter, she put the cake in the oven, and cake is while we are eating, cake was baking. And then after we are done eating and cake is done, and then I start to do my dishes, and my second daughter who pull out the cake from the oven, and she told me, "Mommy, there is a particular piece of cupcake, let nobody eat, I'm gonna go take my shower." I said, "Okay, you can do that." And then when my second daughter says that, but my youngest daughter was there to what is she said, she heard it, though both two are baking the cake. And then my second daughter went to take a shower, and then I was keep doing dishes, and my youngest daughter, 5 years old, she was just behind me and looking and smelling the cake um, and pinching little bit and eating, pinching little bit, eating. And then I said, "Are you eating the cake? You should not eat." And she said, "No, I'm just looking." And I said, "Okay, don't eat the cake." And then I keep doing dishes. I didn't turn back. Cake was behind me. And then I just I have feelings she might be eating that cake. And sure enough, she eat that cupcake. Her sister done taking shower, she came out, and then she looked at the cake and she said, "Mommy's cake is eaten. Who ate it?" And then I look at my youngest daughter, wasn't there at all. And I said, "Probably Rebecca ate it." And I said, "Rebecca, come here." And she came and she said, I told her, "Did you eat this cake?" She said, "Yeah." And I said, why did you eat this cake? Your sister particularly tell you not to eat and do not let anybody to eat that cupcake. And then she said, "Because it is big and good, I eat it." And I said, "Okay." And then I and her sister start to cry, and all girls drama drama started. And I said, "Hold on, your world is not falling apart. You have a bunch of cake and they are the same size and they will taste the same thing." And her sister says, "This is my cake, I told you not to let it anybody." And then anyway, she was crying, and I said, "Okay, let me talk to your sister." And I told my youngest daughter, she was 5 years old, I said, "Okay, I can spank you very hard what is you did, and I can give you this punishment, but I am not gonna spank to you. I want you to know whose voice you hear. I want you to go sit in the corner of the chair over there. There is a chair on the corner. I want you to go sit there and find out whose voice you really hear before you eat that cake. And she just gave me a big eyes look, and then she just went, and she was kind of pouty. And then I said, no, don't be pouty. You should be getting a spanking, but I don't want to give you a spanking. I want you to know whose voice you really hear. And she went anyway. She went and she sit in a chair, and she said, uh, uh, 2 minutes later, she said, oh, mommy, I hear God voice. I said, I was keep doing dishes, and I said, what voice you hear? She said, God told me to eat that cupcake because it was a big, and it was very tasty. That's why he told me to eat. He told me to eat that cupcake. I said, okay. Okay, keep listening. What is he's gonna say to you? Just keep listening. And then 5 minutes passed, and she said, "Mommy, I hear God's voice." He said, "I said, what did you hear?" He said the same thing. He said that cupcake was big, and he told me to eat, and I eat it. And I said, okay, that is good. You are go keep hearing, hear the real voice. What is God really said to you, and you hear that voice. And she just sit there, and then I said, don't talk to me until you hear from God. And she just, and then after I said, and I walk out, and then I came back to the kitchen, and she just looking at me, and she's doing her things. And then I was just, and I just let her to sit there and think and hear. And she said, after 10 minutes passed, she was very quiet. And after 15 minutes passed, and she said, she's crying. And I said, why you are crying? You eat the cupcake. Why you are crying? And she said, Mommy, I hear from God, and God saw my heart. It is so black. And I said, what did you hear from God? He said, actually, God told me not to eat, but I disobey and I eat. And he told me I have a black heart towards Sarah, and I need to ask her forgiveness. That's why I ate the cupcake to hurt her. And hurt, oh, okay, you really hear from that God? He said, yes. And she started to cry, and she was bawling, and she's crying. And then I said, okay, then you need to ask Sarah forgiveness. And I called Sarah, and then come here in the kitchen. Your sister has something to say to you. And then she came, and she said, Sarah, I eat your cupcake. Please forgive me. I am so sorry. God show me I have a black heart towards you, and I don't want to have this and that. And then she just started to cry, and then the Sarah said, I forgave you. And then whole thing is peaceful, and they eat their cupcake, they enjoy, they laugh, they play. And why I'm telling this story, because you can hear from God. If 5 years old girl can hear his voice, you can hear his voice too. Don't try to just to cut in a busyness, and just give a time, and give a time you can hear him. Lot of time Christian people, they hear so many voices, their own feeling, their own emotion, and they run with it, and then they fail at the end because they are too busy to hear God's voice. And if we learn to hear his voice, he will show us things. He will teach us things. And his word says, my sheep will know my voice. And then if we are his sheep, he will help us to hear him. Hearing is very important. We need to hear from God as a Christian. There is so many voices out there, and we cannot follow those voices. We need to be confident in our hearing, in our walk with Jesus. I just want to let you know that, and I hope you will be blessed with this story. And if you like it, please click in a like, and if you you can share and be blessed and open your ear to hear his voice. He will speak to you. Many times we want to answer from so many people. We run people to people. We want to counsel. We wanna go places, and we want to tell our story. But people doesn't have an answer. God has an answer for you. God is the one who will show you answer. For me, I don't go to people complain about my problem or my thing. I go to closet, get answer. In the closet, God will speak to us, and he will give us an answer, and his power will release through us. I want to encourage you, please listen to his voice, and go to, if you have problem, if you have a hard time to hearing him, just be in a peace and just listen to his voice. He will speak to you. He will speak to you. Thank you and bless you. If you like this video, please share it. Okay.